Blessed be he, master and creator of all. Long live the king. Hallelujah. Shout outs to my babies in the U.S. and abroad. You know, I heard that my babies in Toledo, Ohio were saying, "EMA, my vegetables." You gotta do the vegetables, love. Do those vegetables, and today we're gonna talk about some amino acids. We're gonna talk about B4, because you know we talked about B3. And today we're gonna do B4. Now in the B4, before I begin, I just wanna say shout outs to Brother Daniel, who will allow us and God's Warriors 298 to be part of this time and this family. And I really appreciate he and support for allowing us to be part of the family. In the order of Melchizedek, and shout outs to Brother Jacob. Wake up, Jacob. We're shout outs to Brother Jacob. And thank you for allowing us to be part of the remnant, accepting us. And shout outs to the family. Brother Levi Raphael. Shout out. Blessings. Blessings, blessings, my friend. And OG Matter. You know what? I heard his voice one day on one of the pre-recordings, and I was like, that brother is on the ball, as older people used to say, on the ball. So shout outs to the family, and I give praise and glory to the Most High for you. My babies in Washington, Kansas City, shout out. Kansas City, Missouri, Mississippi, Texas, shout out. Tobias has his liquor room today. We had, so I know that from time to time we say, "Emo, what are you all drinking today?" We are drinking moringa tea and mixed up with a little cacao, coconut milk. And we just dressed it up a little bit with a little spirulina, and baby, we rocking it today. It's tasting mighty good. Apple, we really rocking it today. You would love this one. And my group that we pray in the morning, shout out to my babies, and one love. So let's start out today. You all know what I choke on sometimes. Trying to eat it real quick before. One day, I'm gonna eat it before I get here. My little stuff. But anyway, let's go on today. Now, when we started off with B3, we said that we're gonna be on a complex. We're gonna be talking about the B complexes, and all the things that we need on the B complexes, and we're gonna talk about that. So today, in our B4s, now I want you all to go back, those that have missed out on the classes from the previous B complexes. We're kind of long, running for time, so it was my fault, but running for time. So we're going to talk about, first let's talk about some deficiencies. And one of the things that I want to talk about today, now you all know B4, well some that do know, that B4 is basically your amino acids. And you say, EMA, B4 is amino acid? Yes, love. Just like Tobias, let's see. What is B2, another name for B2?
Is it thiamine? Or is it niacin? B3 is the niacin, B2 is the thiamine. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, praise. Now, family, and you have to tell me, what do we say? When we talk about B2? Wait, no, I just thought about it. B2 is let me write it down. Riboflavinoids. Okay. B2. B1 is thiamine.
Okay.
B1 thiamine. B2. Yeah, you just reversed it. Okay. And riboflavinoids. And B3 is niacin, and B4 is amino acids. Now, family, did you know, let me say this before we get started. Did you know there are over 20 types of amino acids in the body? What? Over 20, like 2021, that's all. About 2021, different types of amino acids. Now we're going to have a B1, a part 1, part 2. We're going to try to get everything more into the second part as well. So we're going to talk about some of the deficiencies of B4 or your amino acids. The amino acids, let me tell you something. There's one of my babies that we talked to recently, and we said, she's like, EMA, I'm kind of lethargic. I don't have a lot of energy. And we looked at our B complexes and said, let's see what that might be, and let's begin to deal with that first. So here's some deficiencies. If you see yourself or someone that you know that's dealing with some of these things, you might want to check out your amino acids or your B4. And we're going to talk about some foods that you can eat with that or for that are high in amino acids. And we're going to talk about some foods, some spices that are high in amino acids, okay? So today, let's talk about some, and you know that I'm not a very many, meat is not on my menu. The reason, one of another reason why. Right. So family, I love you. And as we said, not one of my favorites, but it's up here because it does have amino acids in it. So we made some beef broth the other day. Let me get the rest of this out of my mouth. Okay, and I'm supposed to have done this before class. A little bit more. Okay, now, we had some beef broth the other day. I made some beef broth. Mr. loved it. I hope the family loved it. And we added little vegetables and beans. We put some legumes in there that help add it to the amino acids. And that's what we had. And I hope the family liked it. The only thing I didn't add to it was I didn't add more lentil and I didn't add the more black beans, and we're going to talk about that another time because those are some things that are high in B4s or amino acids. Now, let's talk about the deficiencies. Deficiencies are just like, now, because B complexes are so important for the bodies. Ladies, as when you're getting fatigued after you've had your menses, and you're saying, why am I always this fatigued when I get, check your B complexes. You might want to double up on those B complexes because remember, these vitamins, they will go out through your urine, that which the body does not use. And because of those menses, this is going out all at one time. So you want to check your folic acid, and we're going to talk about that as well. And you're going to check your others. When you're extra tired, you're always tired during that time of the month. Make sure you want to check and see how low your B complexes are and which ones you're low in. But for those who eat meat, a lot of your fish, which I say, that's a lot of mercury and all that, but that's a story for another time, you know me. So we can do without that. But let's look. Fatigue, when you're shortness of breath, remember in the mornings, what we do is take that deep breath without moving the shoulders, but we're going to take that breath in and breathe gradually out. Remember, we the old stagnant oxygen out and the clean, more clean oxygen in to come in. We're going to do our breathing to get all that, some people say cobwebs, the fog and all that out, and that's because of clean air. One of the things that, and this is, Tobiah and I talked about this earlier when we came into class about, this is just healthy herbs. Let me say this, healthy herbs, healthy spices. So you could take, family, actually you could burn your frankincense and myrrh and clean the atmosphere, and then as you're breathing in, you can breathe that in. But when you first get up in the morning, we always, and my son said, Mom, I can hear now, Mom, you're sidetracking. Okay, let me make sure, let me say this, and you all know me from my classes before. Always make sure your room, your bedrooms are clean, the air clean, and it's filtered clean air. One of the things you want to burn your frankincense and myrrh, that cleans air. You want to use your eucalyptus, that cleans air. A little bit of cinnamon, that cleans air, and different things like that to keep your bedroom from having a lot of bacteria and mold and things like that to start. We'll talk about that at another time. Keep me up on that and remind me to refresh that stage. Did you know with your amino acids, did you know there's some amino acids or your B4s that literally get rid of bacteria? And those take care of bacteria and viruses and all that. These are certain, and we're going to talk about those probably in the second part of B4s. But these are the ones that keep you clean, and it keeps your lungs clean, and it keeps your lungs open. When you have shortness of breath, check your B4s. Dizziness, irregular heartbeats, weight loss, numbness in your muscles. Muscle weakness, when you can't go up and down those stairs. We were talking about, somebody in my family was talking about the other day, and he was saying that he couldn't go up and down. Now he could go up and down the stairs much better than he did before he started agreeing with somebody and start taking his, start getting back on his B complexes. Forgetfulness is one of those things you might want to movement, personality. A lot of people do get depressed and stuff when they don't have certain B complexes. B complexes are so important. That B4 or your amino acids, we're going to talk about that. Did you know one of the things, okay, let me hit on one thing really quick. It's called, and how I remember it, is called lag. Lag are, and these amino acids, they're leucine, adenine or atropine, and glutamine. Glutamine is part of the cell muscles. And it's called LAC, L-A-C. Those are amino acids that help with the brain. What? Help the brain. And it keeps your personality and everything right on target. So when you come across people, sometimes you have people that are depressed or anxieties or stress or certain things that are stressful in the body. Don't forget your stress tabs, ladies. That when you need your stress tabs, your B complexes on a daily basis. I know I'm talking fast because I'm trying to put a lot into, because I know about our time. So you might want to check that. Mental confusion and forgetfulness. You want to make sure you check your B4s, which is your amino acids. Remember LAC. It's Leucin, leucine, arginines, and your glutamine. So it's LACG, lag, or tiredness. So when you think about you being tired and fatigued and you're out of it and all that, check your B4s, because those amino acids will help the brain and put back vitality or keep what they call aging out, so you're not as aging as fast. So those are, isn't it creative wonderful? Where when the scripture says we are fearfully and wonderfully made, Tobiah, that he put all these things in our bodies and knew what we needed. Isn't that wonderful? That the Father would do that for our bodies. And then now, listen to this part. But there are certain amino acids that automatically circulate in our bodies. They're called, and then there's certain essential acids or essentials that we need from outside of the body, that the body doesn't hold to, or that we use it on a consistent basis. We're going to talk about that as well. So, when we always say, now I know I'm about to hear what you're going to say now. You say, EMA, you're saying green leafy vegetables for everything. Just about. Your green leafy vegetables, baby, have so much, your B complexes in it. It's just awesome. So some of the herbs, let me tell you, green leafy vegetables, you got to make sure. Now we have a little bit of spirulina in our drink this morning, today, just a little bit, not a whole lot. And aloe vera. You know, you could take aloe vera. I was talking to my husband, and we had a little conversation the other day, and we were saying one of the things that help with diabetes. I always tell people to use a little okra, cut the cap off the top, and cut the little tip off from the bottom. Make sure it's really clean very well, and put it in some water, clean water, in a mason jar, and just shake it up, and you can. It helps with that, and then do a chaser with parsley. Well, you can also, Mr. was telling me, where they came from, they use a little aloe vera and, what was it, aloe vera and cactus. And somebody say cactus, you know, we don't, what is cactus? You know? The same way you could use prickly pear. Prickly pear is part of the cactus, is the flower of the cactus. So, you could use that cactus and you cut it up and you make it like a little smoothie. When you make it like a little smoothie, and take just like we say a shot glass in the mornings. And because the cactus is such a protective type of plant, the cactus would actually, it preserves, it keeps the body from absorbing that fat or to keep it from going up the carbs. It protects the digestive system, and we're going to talk more about that in a later time too. It protects the body, and it keeps it from going too high that the body or the brain has had enough. The body, that cactus will do that. It'll tell the body, okay, you have enough for your brain, and you have enough of this, and we're not going to go any further. That's what the cactus does. And then with the aloe vera, it's good for the digestive. So together, they help diabetes. But it's a story for another time, so we'll visit that another time. We're going to also talk about kelp. Kelp does that too because it's green and it's part of the green leafy vegetables. You know, our cayenne pepper, we do our cayenne pepper in the mornings. Remember our cayenne tea. Our cayenne tea. And our berries are good. You know, I was telling you all that about that we grow berries in our backyard, which the birds and the squirrels have really come. We hadn't had time to go back in there and pick it before they could eat it, but they've been doing more damage to our yard this year to buy it. Don't forget your green leafy vegetables. Now, some of the foods, I didn't put all the foods down, but we already know legumes. Some of your legumes, like black beans, have them. We know that not only black beans, but we have lentil. The different lentils, I prefer, you know, sometimes I'll mix the lentil. I cook one before the other because the orange ones, and someone gave me a question the other day. They said, EMA, I found out you were talking about the lentils. And certain lentils, because we have different types of lentil, your green, yellow, orange, and as they call the red. But certain ones take a shorter time in cooking than others. So sometimes I'll cook the green first, and then I'll just make the orange and the yellow to a certain point at another time, and then sometimes I'll mix them together. I'll do different things with them. But the lentil are just high in amino acids, and plus there's a lot of calcium in it for the bodies too. So you want to keep that up. And not to mention a lot of other wonderful nutrients that the body needs that the lentils have. So we want to talk about one thing, and the reason why I put turkey up here, because one of my babies were talking about, they had made a soup from turkey necks and lentil, which is wonderful. And they had that, and I thought, and then someone said that they had oxtails, and they mixed it with their lentil, made a lentil soup, which sounds, you know, my husband would appreciate those as well. So his, you know, meat, you all know me. So these are some things that you might want to look at as far as amino acids, your B4s. Now, because of the B4s, you have more than that, but these are just some things that I'm talking about right now, fam, with your B4s. Now, when I say amino acids, fam, we're going to talk about that at another time about your amino acids, because remember we said there's about 21 different types of amino acids. Before we close, I want to tell you about this one thing that's really, as far as amino acids, is called trypsin. Trypsin, they gave trypsin and selenium to seniors. And do you know what it did? it brought electricity, and those are amino acids, those are few. And they're water, they're called water. So some amino acids that are for hydration, and so which means that they go out with water, some that only stay in with oil, and some that are absorbed into the body, and it goes, so there are 4 different ways that you want to look at for as amino acids or B4s. So, and we're going to talk about that category as far as which category they're going to be in. But isn't that an interesting thing that trypsin, selenium, and there's one more that's good for the brain you could give to seniors, and it brings them back to, but it takes time. Don't think it's going to happen overnight, fam. That you could give that to your seniors, to your grandmothers or your mothers or your fathers, grandparents, and you can give it to them, and it works on the brain. But when you give it to them, make sure, because there was a question that came up at one time. Someone asked me about what about about their grandparents, and I love how you guys take care of your seniors. You know all about love. It's all about the love. I'm so grateful for you all that you all take care of your seniors. And so I was telling you this, that try those few, and it's going to take a while, but when you give it to them, make sure they have food in their stomachs, and make sure that it goes right along, and give it to them at night. For the person that asked me something about the trypsin and selenium for the body. Make sure you have your B1s. Now when you're taking this, B1's another thing, we talked about that. B1's another thing that's good for the brain, and B2 is another thing that's good for the brain. And mixed with amino acids, but you gotta give it a little while. Don't just think it's gonna happen overnight. And this is for the brain, and it stimulates memory, it stimulates the blood flow in the body, and along with amino acids, it brings oxygen. And don't forget to breathe, family. I have a habit from time to time, sometimes when I talk so fast and try to put so much in, I have to remember, and sometimes my husband says, honey, breathe for a minute, because I talk a mile a minute. You all know that. So I want to put that in. And when you do your frankincense and myrrh, you're cleaning your room, you're cleaning your bedroom, you're stimulating the brain when you're breathing. Remember your amino acids that help with bacteria. I'm going to reiterate that again. It helps with fungus and bacteria. So the reason why you need to make sure that you've got your amino acids and your B complexes in there, because it helps from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Now, we also talked about, let me say this to you really quickly, even your green vegetables. We even help, someone asked me the other day, they said, EMA, it was one of my family members, and she says, I'm having issues with my hair, the growth of my hair. And I'm like, okay, are you taking your B complexes? And I said, so one of the things that's helped with your hair is make sure you have make sure your body is fully nurtured. So when you give your body what's fully nurtured, your body will help you. Make sure your eyes, your teeth, your tongue, even your tongue. Remember we talked about that. If your deficiency in your B2, you have that roughness, you have that, the tongue is so much different, you have bumps all on your tongue. And you say, what is all that? Oh, let me tell you this. Family, did you know you can take copper and you can detox your body with your copper? So just take your copper, if you have a piece of copper, I'm gonna have a project that I'm coming up with. And you can take the copper and you can disinfect it and get rid of the bacteria and fiber. It's called, have you ever heard of a tongue scraper? You know, you brush your teeth and you brush your tongue, but you also have a tongue scraper. And you can use the copper, and you use that copper and you scrape your tongue, and it kills bacteria and fungus and viruses, because all the food that you're healing and you're taking in, you want to make sure it's clean, but you can also add a little bit more copper by cleaning your tongue with your copper scraper. And just clean your tongue off of it. And you know what, sometimes I have so many different things that I do, and without even thinking about it, I just do it, and sometimes I don't even mention it to you guys, but not everything that I do. You know, when somebody say, "Ema, you should," somebody tell us everything, you want to know what you start off with. But you might want to try that. And while this time of the different viruses, you might want to do a tongue scraper. And we're going to be working on that and showing what that looks like and how to work it, probably coming up really soon. So I'll try to remember bringing that. Sometimes I know that you guys said, "Ema, I thought you said that you can use the anise and do a mouthwash with the anise and coconut water." You can, because it's an antibacterial, antiseptic, and you can also do, if you're out or you're about to start off and you've done that and during the day you feel a little something indifferent, or you feel like you need to, a little anti-inflammatory or something like that, and you're out, you just do a tongue scraper a couple times over your tongue and keep it going. Or you just come inside and you've been outside with other people and stuff like that, and you just want to do it. That's what I do sometimes. If I'm just out and I just come inside and I've been outside with different ones, and without even thinking, I'll just grab my copper tongue scraper and just do it and keep it moving. And that just cleanses the bacteria from your mouth. Some other people don't do it, but I've done it. And then sometimes I'll just grab my licorice root and I'll just put it in my mouth. I know this past weekend I forgot to do that, do my tongue scraper, and I just grabbed hold of my licorice root and just took a piece of it, broke it off, and put it in my mouth. And I was chewing on that, and one of the babies looked at me and was like, "You chewing on a stick?" And the bad baby's like, "You chewing on a stick?" I love my babies. And it puts more nutrients back into your body. As you know that I do distilled water. And sometimes distilled water, because I've been in it for so long, I have to replace the nutrients and the minerals back into my bodies. So there's certain ways you have to replace minerals and nutrients back in the body. And there's certain ways that without even thinking about it, I just do it. So I said I was going to stop, and I am at this point. So yeah, if you all have any questions out there before we stop, because I know it's almost 2:30. Do they have any questions? And then we're going to come. Huh? Okay, so I love you guys. We're going to come back next week with part 2 of your B4, well known as your amino acids. Remember, there's certain ones we started off again all the way, and I cheated a little bit for you. You triazine, selenium, your leucine, arginine, gluten, and remember we said the glutamines are some of what you in your muscles, and it helps with the muscles, and therefore you got from your weakness of your muscles. If you start that, your amino acids, you'll find out that before long you will have strengthening your muscles. It's all in your B complexes, your forgetfulness, your lethargicness, your personality. Some people will say, "Ema, my personality is changing. I don't know. I'm going through that time of the month, your menses." Oh, Ema. B complexes, and you might want to add a little bit more amino acids in your body. Start eating more your glutens. Again, I'm just going back over some things. Start back at going over your black beans, your lentil, your beans, different. Did you know kidney beans are really high in amino acids? Family, just saying. I didn't put that on there. Make sure you have your kelp, your green vegetables, your green leafy vegetables. Oh, let me tell you this. Did you know, and I keep saying stop. Did you know there's different beans out there? And I wish they leave the forest alone, because the forest in different countries have a lot of our nutrients in it. But there's beans out there that you would say, "Is that a bean?" Yes, there's one called Lycinth, lysine, bean, a lysine bean. And you say lysine, we're going to talk about those real soon because those are different beans or legumes that you wouldn't even imagine are beans. So we're going to talk about that and how the amino acid works through that through your body. So you say, there's so many, when I told y'all a while back when we first started, and I told y'all there's about so many hundreds of different types of beans, if not thousands of different types of beans. The Father has equipped. Only thing we have to do is eat the leaves of the field. They're good for the healing of the nations. And these beans and different legumes and different amino acids are so high, and they put what we need in our bodies. Question?
Yes, ma'am. I'm receiving.
Blessings, baby.
Yes. The doctor says my blood count is low. What can I take to bring it up?
Beets. Beets right off the top. Your beets, do some blackstrap molasses for your blood. Do some, make sure that you have your B complexes. Make sure you have that, and believe it or not, those are bringing the blood back up. What? Yes. Start off with the beets, love, and for your blood pressure. There are a lot of cayenne pepper will help bring it back up. Make sure you're eating kidney beans, legumes, different types of beans. And then you know what? And then you can do that, and it brings your pressure. Those things are high in iron, and will help with your blood. Bring it back up to.
So spinach for you?
Spinach is wonderful. Kelp, moringa. Remember we talked about moringa in one of the other classes? Moringa is one of those what they call today's superfoods. You can do that, and it has a lot of nutrients in it and minerals and nutrients in moringa that is so wonderful. Spirulina will help bring it back up. So those are just some things that are high in iron because you know what? Remember we were talking about sweet potato vines. Sweet potato vines, the leaves themselves are higher than spinach itself. Can you believe that? The vines and stuff, I got some in my freezer right now, and I don't tell this or he's gonna get some soon. But it'll bring it back up because it's high in those minerals. You want to do your there's a sweet potato that I've been telling people about for a while, and it's the Japanese sweet potato. The purple potato. Put it in you can put it in the, wash it off really good, and stick it in the oven, and let it get crisp. And this is one way you can get it really crisp. Let the outside of it get like really crispy. And when you let the outside of it, so the inside, the only thing you do is just peel it. And when you do it that way, just open it up, cut it, and you can eat it. Just like that, because the chunk is really sweet like sugar. And it will bring your blood pressure back. It will give bring your iron back up. It is wonderful for the body. Those are just a few things, and put that in there, and then Tobiah, what I'll do is go back and I'll add more foods that they can do for the iron and for the low blood pressure, and I'll add some more foods. It's in the post. Blessings, 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 family. Thank you for that question. That was wonderful. I love that. You know what? Soursop. Before I finish. Soursop is one, every time I say I'm finished, I think about other things to add. I blessings on your day. Psalms 91, all around about you as about a shield. No evil shall befall you. No plague shall overtake you. Remember, your amino acids will help with that bacteria and the fungal. And also it's antiviral. Remember, before your amino acids are one of those things that you need for your body. It's a blessing to serve you. I'm here for you. Yes, another question?
Yes, ma'am. Elaine Lewis, am I saying right?
Hi, baby.
Asked what kind of food for diverticultures?
Come on.
It's she said, what kind of food for diverticultures? It's spelled D-I-V-E-R-T-I-C-U-L-T-I-S.
Okay. pick them up later. It's D-I-V-E-R-T-I-T-U. Oh, C-U.
L-T-I-S.
Diverticulitis.
Oh, okay.
Diverticulitis.
Okay.
Okay, baby, you know what? Let's start off with our B12, B complexes, okay? That's for number one. And I'm gonna put more in the post for you. Start off with your B complexes. Make sure you have that in your body. And we're gonna talk about that. And you know what? I'll post some more things that you do about that. But start off with that. Start off with clean water. You wanna drink more of your water and your vitamin A. Make sure you have your vitamin A's and write on down with those. Start off with A, B, C, and D. Make sure your D's and D3 and your K2s. So A, B, C, D, K2, a good multivitamin, especially B4, amino acids. And we're going to talk about that and I'll put the rest in the post. How about that? I'm sorry. I will be in. I love you too much. Blessed be he, master and creator of all eternity, who blesses the righteous with favor. Father, bless us to be favorable and righteous in your sight. As we follow your commandments, your laws, obey you and obey your laws. Your commandments are sure. I love one scripture that says that his word is like, what is it? Honey in a golden vessel. What is this? And I read it this week. It's like apples and honey and gold. What is that? I know it's in, but we'll get that. It's like, and I was reading and I thought, ooh, apples and gold. Apples in a gold vessel, sweetened with honey. There's something to that effect. But his words are true. His words are sure. And his word, he stands behind his word to perform it. His word cannot fail as long as we stand fast on him and his promises. He's a God, he's a master creator of his, and his surety. We are sure of this very thing, that he who done a good work in you will perform it to the day. I love you. Blessings on you. Remember, we keep our minds stay fast on him. That keeps us in perfect peace. I love you. Amen.